What's going on, y'all? This is your boy Kevin coming to you with another game analysis. This time I'm going to be talking about Game 6 of the Western Conference first round between the San Antonio Spurs and the Memphis Grizzlies. Spurs closed out the Grizzlies last night in a 103-96 road win to win the series in 6 games, just like I predicted. Pretty tightly contested game throughout. At one point in the third quarter, Memphis got out to a big lead, but then San Antonio went on a big run to close the gap at the end of the third quarter. Then in the fourth quarter, Memphis had it going early, but then Kawhi Leonard led the Spurs back into the game, and then ultimately made some big shots down the stretch with along with Tony Parker, the wily old vet, making plays at the end. You know, that championship pedigree showed once again for the Spurs as they closed out Memphis. I think this was a very good series for 6 games. Like I said, Kawhi Leonard was Kawhi Leonard for most of the series. I mean, he did struggle in the losses to the Grizzlies in games 3 and 4. But other than that, he was spectacular as always. A lot of people calling him the second best two-way player in the game, obviously behind LeBron James. I do second that notion. Kawhi Leonard's only, 25, 24 years old, still young, still a lot of time left in this league. And one day soon he'll be NBA MVP. You know, it might be a day where Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the NBA, bar none. Yeah, but once again, another big performance by Leonard in this game. 29 points, 9 rebounds, 8 of 19 shooting, but he went 12 of 13 from the free throw line. Of course, you remember, I think it was game 2 where he was 19 of 19 from the free throw line. Of course, that game 2. Where David Fizdale went off in the post-game press conference, you know, with the whole "take that for data" and they're not gonna rook us lines, which really galvanized Memphis in games 3 and 4 at home, got them back within the series, tied the series up. I mean, great fight out of Memphis too. You know, they don't bluff. Like, that's been their logo the last few years in the playoffs. They played hard. They played hard. They didn't just play hard for their coach. They played hard for each other. It's really the same type of Memphis team that was coached by Lionel Hollins and I think his name is Dave Jurgensen. Another saying of Memphis is grit and grind. They had a lot of grit and they grinded as much as they could all serious and all regular season. Obviously, one of the big stories in the offseason, Mike Conley getting all that money, being the highest paid player in the NBA. Now, do I agree with Mike Conley being the highest paid player in the NBA? Hell no. But he had a really good year. He had a damn good series for Memphis. I think he averaged 25 a game. I think 6 assists. That was a pretty impressive series for Mike Conley, man. Who I agree with what Greg Popovich says, one of the more underrated guards in the game. Underrated point guards, I should say. He really helped out Memphis. He really led Memphis like a true leader should. You know, Conley doesn't, you know, like David Fizdale said in game 2 post-game press conference, you know, Conley, he's not the outspoken guy. He leads by example, and he does what he needs to do. But back to San Antonio, I want to get to a few other guys' stats. Again, Tony Parker looking like his 07 Finals MVP self. Well, at least for this game anyway. He had another couple games where he stepped up as well in Spurs victories. But a great, efficient shooting night for Tony Parker. 27 points, 11 of 14 shooting, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Like I said, that's very efficient. I mean, that's a hell of a job of getting it done in the playoffs, you know, with your team with your team up in the series, ready to ready to eliminate your competition. I mean, usually in some teams in a 3-2 situation, they won't come out as hungry. They won't come out as fired up. The team that's facing elimination will come out and hit them in the mouth, and then they may not recover. And then all of a sudden you're in a game 7. But again, Coach Popovich and the championship pedigree of the Spurs, especially Parker and Ginobili, who are left from the big three. Tim Duncan retired. They know how to win, and they know how to close out series. They know that you got to have the same grit and intensity in Game 6 that you had in Game 1. So again, congratulations to the Spurs. They are moving on to the second round, as they will face the Houston Rockets in the Western Conference semis. I think that's going to be a hell of a series. Again, I think I alluded to it in the video I did of Houston after Houston eliminated OKC. It's basically something's got to give. The defense of Popovich versus the offense of D'Antoni. You wonder who's going to go hard, and is it going to be Green? Is it going to be Leonard? Are they going to switch off on them every now and then? You don't know what's going to happen. You have an idea, but you don't know what's really going to happen until it happens. Last few bits about the Spurs here. Marcus Aldridge had 17 points, 12 rebounds. Huge performance out of him. Again, they're going to have a lot more performances like that out of him if they want to get to the Western Conference Finals and potentially beat a Golden State. And then Patty Mills doing his thing off the bench with 10 points. He kind of struggled in this series, but it's a good thing it's a great thing that you see him stepping up in an elimination game like this when your team has a chance to knock out the other team and your role players step up. That's the most beautiful thing of all. Looking at it from Memphis side here, again, like I said, the series out of Connolly, that was very impressive. One of the top guys in the playoffs. 26 points, 5 rebounds, 7 of 18 shooting, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Like I said, he did all he could really to carry this Grizzlies team. I think he was the only consistent. He's the only consistent Grizzlies player in the series. Randolph had his struggles. Gasol had his struggles, but again, the beauty about the games 3 and 4 in Memphis, Randolph and Gasol was able to come together and help out Conley, and then he had help from the bench as well to get those 3 wins. Those 2 wins. The other 2 stars and the role players didn't do a bad job in this one. It was just the Spurs made plays down the stretch. Marcus offense with 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. Randolph had 13 points and 11 rebounds. Vince Carter had 12 points on 4 of 9 shooting. Their young guy, James Ennis, he had 11 points on 4 of 7 shooting. So their starters really stepped up tonight. Their bench really didn't help them out much. Andrew Harrison, one of the famous Kentucky Twins, was the high man off the bench with only 6 points. Wayne Selden, he wasn't really himself. That was another reason why Memphis was able to win games 3 and 4 because of his production off the bench. But they couldn't get it from him in this game. Like I said, they really didn't get much from the benches. They really didn't get much from the bench, but it's good. It was good to see every starter in double figures. But like I said, Conley was usually really the only consistent Grizzlies player in this series. And then Spurs again make shots down the stretch. Spurs, did their thing at home, games 1, 2, and 5. And then they were able to get this one on the road here in Game 6 to close out the series. Again, they go to face Houston. That's going to be a heck of a matchup. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this video, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. I appreciate you guys watching. And for everyone watching this video, I wish you nothing but positive vibes only. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.